Hello again. What's good? It's the Young DJ. Part two of the whole stripper to pimp. So, when I started stripping, I went to a club. I was in Texas. Of course, I'm not gonna name the clubs or anything like that, but it was a male strip club. There really aren't that many. You would have to be in a city that can support it. Believe it or not, male strippers usually can't support an entire club. They do better with reviews. I don't know how it is these days, because of course I'm retired. But when I was dancing, if you go to the bigger cities, then they had enough of a clientele to support entire male strip clubs. And when I tell you these women would come out, I don't know whose money they were spending, but they'll run circles around the men. Hands down. You go to the strip clubs and these girls be dancing, you think these dudes be throwing money. These females know how to do it. So hats off to the women. You all know how to party. I went in there and I'll never forget. The moment I walked in, there was a dude on stage who went by the name of Shaka Zulu. Shaka Zulu was a tripod and a half. And so when I walk in, this is the first visual I have of a male stripper up close. And my immediate thought was, I'm not big enough to be in here. TMI, but growers have a harder time than showers. Only because the whole thing that we have to go through to tie off, which is the technique we use to keep things at attention on stage, that can create some serious nerve damage. It can mess you up. Showers don't have to worry about that because they're pretty much almost there all the time. Growers can't be going out here pre-gaming, all right? We gotta be ready. Because when we get out there, we're gonna be judged just like the showers, and women ain't got time to be going through the science of things. Talking about, oh, well, wait till they get, no. You gotta be impressive when you walk out. So that already creates a problem. And if you're not in the industry, of course, just like when it comes to every other thing, when women and sex, men tend to think that it's completely all about size. Well, in the strip club, I'm not gonna say it is, but it is far more important. So I'm scared. I'm 19, but head held high. I got street experience. I got know-how, so I'm not intimidated about the environment. I'm intimidated by these dudes who are swinging way lower than me. Now, I noticed that they're not always that attractive. Some of them are, they're all in shape, cool. They don't dance, and it didn't take me long to realize that most of them don't really have the hygiene they're supposed to have for the job that we do. You got to be right, because men start to stink the moment we come out of the shower. Like, by the time I dry off, I should probably get back in the shower, because that's just the nature of men. If you go hard, you stink hard, or you can if you don't take care of yourself. So you gotta bathe. If you bathe any less than 3 times a day as a man, then you either lazy or nasty. And that's how I feel, right? To this day, I still shave, I still manscape, underarms, pubes, chest. I never really grew hair on my back, but even my ass, yeah, you gotta shave it all because hair holds odor, right? I digress, back to the point. So I get in there, and this club is not only managed, but owned by 2 blood sisters. They were ex-strippers. They came up in this industry, and they saved their money, and they bought a strip club. Again, hats off, for real. They knew the ins and outs, so they were good, but they did not play the radio. They were dead ass about theirs. And if you get out of line, they will get you back in line. They had a whole goon squad to make sure that as a dude, you didn't come to this club stepping out of line. Well, they took a liking to me. I'm young. I had a baby face. You know, I didn't have locks then. I had braids before I locked up. So I had braids that were about down to here. And the one thing I was serious about was my hair. My hair was always braided to the T. You understand? Like, I didn't do all that frizzy crap. Even now, my locks, you can still see my scalp. I still have my parts. I get my hair done every week. So, they took a liking to me because I was cute. They love my personality because I'm a shit talker. And they love the voice. I talked a little bit more proper than the people in that area. So they hired me on the spot. They told me I was gonna need to bulk up. I was about 180 pounds, but I still had chest and arms. I was born with a pretty good amount of chest and arms biologically. So I still had the taper, but I was a bit on the skinny side. So I started eating, bulking up, working out. A couple of dudes took me up under their wing, showed me their, how to work out, how to bulk up, what to eat, things like that. Out of respect for my industry, let me go ahead and just full disclosure. Male strippers get about the same kind of misconstrued conceptions as, say, male cheerleaders, all right? Male cheerleaders are strong, and they will probably fold up most of the dudes out here who talk junk about them, all right? Just like that, people think that, you're homosexual or weird or freaky or whatever if you're a stripper, it must be something about you. I'm not saying that that's not there. What I'm saying is it's not all that's there. Just like not every female stripper is out there selling it, giving it away. Some of these girls go home to a man who understands what she does and goes out of his way not to treat her like a stripper because she does with that all day. He's domestic. She usually makes more than him. So he washes dishes, takes care of her clothes. She comes home and sleeps. They have a normal life. And you'll be surprised how many people out there make a real life out of something as crazy as stripping. So go easy. Don't think you know the industry. Now, having said that, yes, a lot of them in there. A lot of freaky, man. In the locker room, the guys would have, who were like that, who actually fit that stereotype, the guys would have these big old dudes. And I'm not trying to offend anybody, but these big old dudes would have these skinny little guys coming in there, and they'd be their boyfriends. And they would be terrified of these little dudes, man. 10 times their size. I'm so sorry, baby. Here's my money. Like, that crap was real. And then to watch it happen with some little tiny dude choking up some big old muscle dude talking about, B, give me your money. Who you think? You better not be cheating on me. I couldn't do nothing but laugh. So it's there. Dudes getting with each other back there. Like I said, you got to get at attention before you go out there on stage. So they fluff each other. They have their significant others come back. And even the straight dudes, they would have their girls come back there and get them right. It's hard to sit there. My mental condition won't allow me to do that. I think y'all call it fapping or something like that. I can't. My brain won't process it as it's my body. There's nothing wrong with it. My brain processes it as this is a man's hand. This is a man's hand. I don't like men. I don't want a man's hand touching my parts. Not even mine. So I'm not able to knock it down by myself. I've never been able to. I've never even attempted it. And I know that sounds weird, but I've never attempted to try to please myself. It doesn't work. Not unless I wake up and become a girl, at which point I'm just gonna kill myself because that looks hard. That looks hard to do. I don't think I could survive as a female. So again, hats off to y'all. I don't know how you do it because I couldn't. So once I saw all of that at 19 years old, I'm shocked. You understand? I don't know what to do. I'm like, wow. But you'll be surprised how quickly you learn and fall in the line. As soon as I got out there and started seeing that money, it's like, whoa. And I just fell into my groove. And because I did work at a club where it was pretty much half and half as far as hetero and homosexual, all right? So I went hyper masculine as a character. I was gonna be the thug of the club, you know? I didn't do all the little tassel ties and all the tight cowboy hat. I didn't, nah. My outfit was a fleet of Timberlands in every color, a fleet of Dickie overalls in every color, wife beaters. I don't know what y'all call them now, but back then we called them wife beaters, no offense. Or a t-shirts, I don't know what y'all call them, but the tight fitted t-shirts, black, white, every color. You know, Kangos, things like that. So, but the chest was out. A couple of things that really worked for me was, number one, I was a good dancer, like I said. The thing that people have under their tongue, the little string thing that connects it, I don't have one of those. And because of that, my tongue is very long. I'm like maybe a quarter inch away from the Guinness Book of World Records, maybe, all right? Because of that, I was able to have 3 tongue rings. And I had piercings when not many ethnic groups were doing it, all right? I had an eyebrow, I had one right here, one through the lip, and then I had 1, 2, and 3 tongue piercings from the back to the middle to the front. One was vibrating, one lit up, and one was just cute. And you would show it to them one at a time, you know, this kind of, it was the effect. But the fact that I've never met anybody else that had 3 tongue rings back to back because my tongue was that long, that was a gimmick of mine. So I learned how to use that, got in there, started making money. The offers come quick, I will tell you that. First night, $2,000 to come home with her, blah, 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 blah. And I wanted to take it, I'm not gonna lie. But something told me not to. So I didn't. And believe it or not, I did my entire career never ever taking money for acts. Only to dance. I did the right thing. Only because I knew eventually I was gonna want a female. And if that ever came out, she ain't gonna appreciate that, all right? So I got in there, started making money, did my whole thing. And that's when I learned about a whole nother level. And that was the escort level. That was the sugar mama thing. That's where you make your money before you can come to the club. And that's when I got into that whole thing. I was a master of being taken care of and getting nothing in return. I was a king of excuses. Because I was young, people already felt sorry for me and, you know, was very careful with me. I played up to that. I would always play damaged and, you know, I've been hurt before and the women would eat that shit up. But eventually, as it usually does, it always comes time for Mr. Nasty Time. And now you either gotta do it or you gotta say goodbye. That's when I would have to say goodbye. But I could keep them for about a good year. You know what I mean? Get their money. And most of them were married. Just gotta be careful. I had 3 husbands find out in my time. And all 3 of them came after me. It didn't go well for them. Because again, just because we're strippers doesn't mean we're soft. You're looking at muscle-bound, strong dudes. That's not fake muscle. It's real. And not all of us are hee-hee, ha-ha. You know, some of us are real up there. We just naked. That don't mean we won't do something to you. So these dudes find out the hard way that that's just my job, dude. Don't get it twisted. Check your female. Don't check me. It ain't gonna go good for you. So, I got addicted to money. Let's just be real. It was never enough. So I stripped, sugar babied, I guess you could call it. Immediately started DJing in clubs and stuff around town, nightclubs, because I got a name as a stripper. So we would go do male reviews at these nightclubs and I would talk to the manager about, you know, why don't you let me get a night here? And because I was a stripper and the girls would love me, I could usually get a night wherever I went and asked for one. And so I used that to my advantage. Got a bigger name, which helped my side hustle business. People started coming to me because they knew I had it, no matter what it was. So, because I got comfortable in the strip club, that's when I went to the female strip club and was like, yo, why don't you let us do a review here on one of your slow nights? And then, I'll DJ it. And if you like it, why don't you give me a slow night here and let me kind of get my foot in the door. And that's how I got the strip club job once he heard my voice. So it took about a month before the girl stepped to me. The club was pretty dead when I got the job, so they were just looking for somebody to liven it up. And again, I just happened to be good at it. I don't know why, but I just took to it. So the first night, the club did great. All the girls made more money than they ever had, and all that kind of stuff, and they were just praising my name. So I was the golden boy all of a sudden. They gave me every night I wanted. I had a full schedule. I was the house DJ overnight. So when they stepped to me, it was after, like, hey, you just come with us. They hired me and the security dude I told you about. I'm not gonna give his name, but he was my right-hand man. They hired us to come do security. It was supposed to be a party, We get there. It's not a party. You know what it is. Everybody starts disappearing into rooms and things like that. And the alpha chick comes up and she was like, her dance name was Harley. And she was wild. She looked so innocent. When I tell you she was the craziest one on the block, like, you ain't gonna mess with her. She'd off you quickly. She told us that the problem was they would come here and do this, and every now and then dudes didn't want to pay, or they didn't understand the word no when it was supposed to. And that was our job. So we went in there and we chilled. And there was a couple of issues, and we immediately took care of it, and they paid us. And then afterwards, they asked me what I thought. And I said, do you want me to just say, it's cool, if you need me again, call me? Or do you want me to give you my honest opinion? They asked for my honest opinion, and I told them they're going about it all wrong. This is stupid. Somebody's gonna end up dying because nobody's being safe. There's no organization, and there's nothing to keep these dudes in line. Okay, so they were like, well, why don't you help us? And we'll pay you. And I was like, that kind of sounds like, and it was like, yeah, but we're asking you to do it. So it's different. We just ask you to manage us. I was like, okay. The first thing I implemented, only to sit there and teach the discipline to the clientele, was an on-top only rule. On top only. That gives her full control. It's the only option. And when you back a dude up against the wall and say something or nothing, when we're talking about women, 99.9% of the time it's going to be something. They might not like it, but they won't like it while they're paying. It is what it is. I needed to get order. So on top only rule. The next thing we did is we told the customer very simply that we would be right here, right by the door. If we hear anything louder than a moan, we're gonna come in there and just take care of it, even if she's okay. I suggest you go gentle, go easy, because if you make her moan or scream too loud, we're gonna take that as distress. So it teaches them to slow things down, calm down, all right? You're not here to kill it. You're here to get a little service and go on about your business so you can feel better. That's it. You ain't gotta leave no destruction behind. Don't be trying to mess nothing up. Respect the merchandise. Again, if this is offensive, click off, because I told you in the beginning, I'm an F up, all right? I'm not a good dude. I try to be, I learned a long time ago, very young. If you're gonna do bad shit, at least be a good person. And I try to be. I don't steal, I don't cheat people. I don't care if you left $1,000 with me and walked away from the table. It'll be there. 10 million left for 10 years, you come back, it'll be there. I don't need that kind of karma. I got enough reasons to go wherever the bad place is that you go when you mess up in life. I don't need other ones, all right? So, They respected it. They were worried about losing money and had the customer. I said, eventually, yeah, it's going to happen at first, but we will. It's just discipline. Once people realize that they can earn privileges, as in earn the right for me to pause the on top only rule just for that particular customer. It's a customer by customer basis. Some people can take it, other ones you have to monitor a little bit more. But you have to earn it with me by returning, being respectful, and leaving shit intact when you leave, the same way it was when you got here. And I had to have it mandatory that anybody who wasn't being safe, the females, anybody who was offering an untethered experience, I guess is the best way to put it, that puts everybody at risk. So I could not tolerate that. If you're too good to use protection, then you're too good for us. And they had to go. Started out with 10, ended up with 25. Yeah, there was some turnover rates. Some people just ain't cut out for this kind of thing. Some people got what they needed and they wanted to move on. Everybody who left got the money they were supposed to get. Again, never raised a voice, never even dare raise a hand. If I gotta argue with you, we ain't supposed to be around each other. You ask me, then trust me. And they did. 25 of the best females I ever met in my life. And I have absolutely nothing to say about any one of them. All right? So that was my pimping career. I have a lot more stories within those 5 years total, but that's enough for now. All right? Until next time.